Go back to the Facebook page. No, we have to go back to MSAVs. There we go.
Click it. Select it.
Let's see if I'm on here now. Hey, I think we got it. For some reason, it's not working on my computer, but it's working fine on my phone. So we'll have to troubleshoot that later. Can everybody see me? I don't have a way to invite Suzanne in. So what I'm going to do is give Suzanne a minute to tell everybody to come over to this video. And then I'm going to have her feed me Facebook questions through Messenger. So I'll just watch for that for a second for everybody to have a chance to move over. Can you hear me? Perfect. Yay. All right. I'm seeing folks join. Let's just give everybody a minute to come in. This is going to be a little bit more movement probably from me than you want. Let me put my phone down. I think Facebook was designed to work on phones and not on computers. What do you guys think? I've got this whole fancy setup going on here. I was going to talk to you. It was going to be great. All right, Suzanne, go ahead and type into Messenger questions that people have had. I want to make sure that we get to those, and I've got your questions right next to my phone so I don't have to look far. Hey guys, I'm going to miss you over the next few weeks. I really am. I look forward to seeing you all in the office. I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? Because we're supposed to look forward to going home, but I like coming to work and seeing you all. Especially you guys, but don't tell my other patients. You're my favorites. All right, I don't have any questions from Suzanne. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to answer some general questions that I've been given over the past really several days. This entire craziness started months ago in China with this new virus. So let me describe to you first, what is coronavirus? Well, a coronavirus is just a type of virus. And coronavirus, this particular coronavirus is called COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. There was a similar virus back in 2009 called SARS. You all might remember that. And then in 2012 and again in 2015, there was a virus called MERS. SARS was the sudden adult respiratory syndrome virus. And the problem is that a percentage of people would essentially, their lungs would just degrade. The virus would get in there and it would damage the lungs. The MERS virus was the Middle Eastern respiratory virus, and that particular virus did something very different. Coronaviruses are not natural to humans. So this is not a flu virus. The flu virus people get and people pass along. The coronaviruses actually mutate from animals at just the right time for it to jump from animals into humans. Previous coronaviruses have had they've had some features that are different than this one. For example, when people got sick, they looked sick. And when they were able to shed the virus and infect other people, they looked sick. With this virus, people can be shedding and spreading it in the community for up to a week or more before they actually show symptoms. And so this virus is very easy to catch. It's not easy to detect. And so because we don't know who's sick until it's too late, we can't stop the spread until that person has already given it to multiple other people. So the way that this virus is spreading undetected, and the fact that we can't stop the people who are spreading it means that it gets out there before we even know it. It takes about 5 days for most people to develop symptoms. Symptoms can be fever, a dry cough. Sometimes they produce some mucus, but usually it's a dry cough. Fever is a really big feature, and it's usually a high fever. Not always, but it's usually a high fever. This will go on for a week, and then after a week, people will start to get better. A very small percentage of people, as they start to get better, they look like they're turning the corner, will suddenly get horribly worse. And that's when they get this respiratory distress. It's very difficult to intubate them. It's difficult to keep them alive. And some people are actually getting a heart attack along with it. So this is a very dangerous virus. And this is why physicians around the world are saying, stay home. We can handle this virus. We can monitor. We can help you. But we can't do it if you all get sick at the same time. Do not all get sick at the same time. That's the idea of this flatten the curve business everybody's talking about. It's not necessarily that you're never going to get sick if you just stay inside for 2 weeks. It's that everybody's not going to get sick all at once. You're going to overwhelm the medical system. I'm talking to doctors in China and Spain and Italy and my best friend from medical school who's an ER doc in Florida. This is really, really a dangerous virus. All right, let me turn to some questions about the virus. The virus is new to people. It came from probably bats. No, your pets are not in danger. This does not affect cats, dogs. It is native to bats. It's also very similar to a virus that infects what are called pangolins. And pangolins are these absolutely adorable little scaly anteaters that live in Southeast Asia. But the actual virus is closer to what comes from bats. And they think that what happened was it just mutated at just the right time and has just the right properties to be this nasty virus. So what do people with multiple sclerosis need to know? Well, number one, you need to know that this virus, the outcome from this virus is much worse if you are on steroids at the same time. If you have a multiple sclerosis attack during this viral outbreak, do not take steroids. I'm not going to prescribe them for you. I'm not going to give them to you. I'm not going to bring you into the office for Solumedrol, because if you get the virus and you are on steroids, you're in worse shape. Are people on MS in general more likely to develop this virus? No, you're not. If you are on certain disease-modifying therapies, you are not at higher risk. What are those disease-modifying therapies that have increased risk? Ocrevus, Lemtrada, and Mavenclad. You're going to be at higher risk because those uniquely decrease the ability of your body to fight viruses. And I'll get to what to do about that here in just a few minutes, okay? But if you are on Ocrevus, Lemtrada, or Mavenclad, stay tuned. If you are on Tysabri, the risk that you're going to have a horrible exacerbation if we take you off Tysabri is greater than the chances you are going to get and then have a damaging outcome from the virus. So what we are recommending with Tysabri, and we're going to be getting in touch with our patients in this upcoming week, we're moving everybody 2 weeks out. So if instead of a 4-week interval on the Tysabri, we're going to go to a 6-week interval. And the idea behind that is that Tysabri, when it's spread out to 6 weeks, decreased the risk of other viruses like PML being a problem, and maybe would decrease your risk of developing the virus in the first place and give your immune system a chance to actually help to fight it. If you are on Copaxone, any injectable therapy, continue it. There's a little bit of data that maybe interferons can fight this virus. So do not stop your Copaxone or any of your interferons. That's Plegridy, Avonex, that's going to be your Rebif, Betaseron, Extavia. All of the injectables, continue them. Okay, what about Albagio? Albagio is actually a pretty cool drug because it does not disable your immune system. So your body can still fight against this virus. The only thing it can't do is rev itself up inappropriately and attack you. So Albagio looks to be safe. Continue your Albagio. Tecfidera, if you are on Tecfidera, continue it. If you develop cough, dry cough, fever, have been exposed to somebody who is positive, now this needs to be somebody you know, not my coworker's friend's brother. No. I was at dinner with my brother and he tested positive a week later. All right, so if you have a known exposure or are getting sick, stop your Tecfidera until you're better, because the Tecfidera may alter your ability to fight it once you have it. Tecfidera, though, lowers lymphocyte counts for months. So stopping your Tecfidera now isn't going to affect whether or not you catch the virus. And your lymphocyte counts are going to stay low no matter what. So you may as well just go ahead and stay on it. So what about Gilenya? Well, Gilenya is one that's kind of in between. It probably does make you more prone to catching the virus, but Gilenya, if you stop it, also has a significant risk of causing a horrible exacerbation at about 6 to 8 weeks out. This virus is expected to be around for much longer than 6 to 8 weeks. Stay on your Gilenya. I will learn more as I'm talking with other MS experts across the globe, but it looks like stay on your Gilenya, stay on your Tecfidera, stop it if you do get sick, and stay on any injectable or Albagio. Move your Tysabri out to 6 weeks. Now, let's talk about Ocrevus. I'm going to move off from the camera for just a second so that I can make sure that I continue to have feed because my phone's going dead. Yay, of course. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I have my cord and I'm going to plug it in. All right, am I still here? Hopefully I'm still here. Okay, so what do we do with Lemtrada and Mavenclad? If you have already taken a dose of Lemtrada and Mavenclad, it's already done. It's already done, and I'm going to talk in a minute what we mean by social isolation and precautions and that sort of a thing. So if you have taken Ocrevus and you are not due for a dose, we've already done what we've done. So you're going to take precautions. You're going to be very, very careful. Assume that anybody you come in contact with could already be sick. If you are due for an Ocrevus infusion, I'm recommending right now that you hold off on the infusion. Give the doctors a chance to get caught up. Give us a chance to learn how to manage this virus. What I'm recommending is my first recommendation, and some of you aren't going to be too keen on this, and I know that, and I understand. I would switch you over to an interferon. Most of you are on Ocrevus because you already failed an interferon or hate the shots or don't tolerate them. We need your MS covered, and the safest thing to do for people on Ocrevus is to switch you to an interferon, and my office is available to help you do that. If that is absolutely, you're allergic to it, or you just not gonna do it, no way, no how, Copaxone would be my second choice, just to bridge you over for however long it takes for this virus to calm back down so that you're not in acute danger. And we're going to be doing this as people get due for their Ocrevus infusions. Obviously, some of you are due in the next month. I'd recommend you switch over. Either interferon's my first choice, Copaxone is my second choice. Albagio might be negotiable. We might be able to switch you to Albagio, which tends to be better tolerated, but it's not as quick to get you on it, and it may take a little bit of time to work. If you're coming due for your Ocrevus in 2 to 3 months, let's have an ongoing conversation about this. Let's just say that nope, you are not interested in any of those options. Ocrevus is the only thing that's ever worked for you, and I do understand that. There are folks out there that this is your drug. what I would say is give it 2 months. Give us 2 months to get caught up on this virus. We're going to know more then, and we're going to give you your infusion 2 months late. All right, so just to summarize, multiple sclerosis itself does not make you more prone to this virus, so that's good news. If you are on an injectable, you are not more prone to the virus, and the virus is not more dangerous for you. If you are on Albagio, probably the same thing. You're not more prone to the virus, and the virus is no more dangerous to you than anybody else. If you're on Tecfidera, it's not going to make you a whole lot more prone to the virus, and if you do develop symptoms of the virus or are exposed, then what you need to do is stop the Tecfidera temporarily until the danger is over or you are no longer sick. If you're on Tysabri, we are recommending a 6-week interval instead of a 4-week interval, and my office is working very hard to get you set up with that. And if you're on Ocrevus and you're due now, let's talk about switching to an alternate medication or waiting a couple months to see how this develops. If you are on Mavenclad or Limtrada and have already taken your doses, that's it. If you're within 6 months of the Limtrada or 6 months of the Mavenclad, you need to be really careful because you are more prone to getting this virus. So let's back up for a second and talk about why this virus is so dangerous. It's not because 3% of people are dying from it. It is because if too many people get it at the same time, doctors and nurses cannot keep up with the load. They can't do it. The other problem is the more doctors and nurses are exposed to it, they're getting sick. And doctors and nurses are dying from this disease. We're all in danger. We really are. And it's not a joke. And believe me, I would not be sitting in my house right now talking to you on a live feed on my vacation. I mean, I love you guys. I'd do anything for you. This is not a joke. This is not a test. People are dying. My best friend is working in the ER in Florida fighting COVID right now, wearing protective equipment that will not protect her. So please, please be careful. Here's how you stay safe. Stay home. I am not kidding. I mean, no exceptions. You are not going to the movies. You are not going to your friend's house. You have to assume that everybody else has this virus. It's like the zombie apocalypse, but you don't know who the zombies are, okay? I am begging you, no more card dates, no more going out for beers, no more going to your local restaurant. We've got to stop this for now. We've got to stop this virus and slow it down. We have warnings from all the way around the world. If we do not do something now, the United States is in grave danger, and you guys are in grave danger. Okay. So what do I mean? You can go outside. If it's natural, you can touch it, you can play with it. Throw a stick for your dog. Talk to your friends from 6 or more feet away. So stand across the road from your neighbor and say hi. If you don't feel well, stay inside. Assume that everybody else in your family is safe and you're safe. Stay home. Can you go to the grocery store? You can. Guys, there's nothing there. I'm doing delivery because I may have been exposed when I recently went to Colorado. I cannot leave my house until 14 days from now. I can go in my own car. We can assume that it's as is infected or as safe as I am. We can go for a walk on mountain trails. You must stay more than 6 feet away from everybody else. Children, I do not let my children play on other people's playgrounds. Playgrounds are potentially other children can carry this and have no symptoms. And so touching the playground equipment, the virus can live for up to 3 days on metal. Children get it on their hands, wipe their nose, bam, they can have the infection. It is not worth the risk right now. Let's do this strictly. Absolutely don't do anything outside of your house except pharmacy and grocery store. That is it for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll have an idea in the United States whether the increase in this virus is continuing or if it's starting to level off. China had to go into complete lockdown, guys. You are not allowed to leave your house without full protective gear. We don't have this protective gear. You know where it's made? It's made in China. China's using the protective gear to save themselves. We've got to save ourselves with our behavior. All right? This is whether you have MS or you do not have MS. Okay. What if I have symptoms? What if I get a dry cough and a fever? You need to not use ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is making this worse. Use Tylenol also. What if I can't use Tylenol? Get in your bathtub and turn on cool water. Aspirin is a no-no. Ibuprofen is a no-no. Aleve is a no-no. So it's very, very important that you follow some very simple rules. Stay home. If you have a cough and a fever and don't feel well, stay home. Now, if you've got the virus and you go to the ER, there is nothing they can do for you right now. Nothing. They cannot test you. There are not enough tests. The only people they can test are the people that are admitted to the hospital. If you develop severe shortness of breath, your fingertips or your lips turn blue, or you start getting confused, or your vision goes gray, now you go to the hospital. Do not go to the hospital for anything else. And remember, the steroids, no go. All right, I'm getting some questions about what else is safe. What about the mall? Oh my gosh, you guys, stay out of the mall. Please stay out of the mall. The mall is probably the least safe place for you to be right now. If you need to go take a walk outside. You absolutely, again, just assume that every surface in that mall has been coated. I know. They're Cloroxing everything, blah, blah, blah. They can Clorox everything. The person in front of you coughs into their hand, touches the seat that you go and sit on, now you're infected. 2 weeks. Give us 2 weeks to try to control this virus. People around the world are working on ways to try to mitigate this virus and treat this virus so that we can all have a better chance of survival. It's 2 weeks. Give them 2 weeks. It's going to take longer than that, don't get me wrong, but let us figure it out and give you an update. How about people who have spouses who are going to work? So some of you do. Some of you have spouses that have to go to work. If your spouse goes to work, it is actually, you have two options. My recommendation is if your spouse goes to work, that you actually live in a separate part of the house for 2 weeks. Just let us figure this out. So if you can't do that, if that's just not practical, then what you need to do is have your spouse, when they come in through the door, take off all their clothes and put it in a plastic bag to be washed and wash their hands. I know. We're all going to be naked running through our front doors. It's okay because nobody's outside paying attention. It's all good. Nobody's judging, right? So you just want to remove any potential virus. But wait a minute, your spouse could get sick and you wouldn't know. That's correct. There are some risks that we have to take. If it's not an option to stay separate, there are some risks that we take. We all take risks every single day. Well, how about if we go to the grocery store and we bring things in from the grocery store? Well, there are a couple of ideas there. First of all, I told you that the virus can live for 3 days on metal. It's not as good at living on paper. It only makes it about 24 hours on cardboard, and I take that also to mean paper. So separate your groceries at the grocery store, use paper bags, and put anything that can sit outside in the garage, leave it outside for 24 hours. Anything that is frozen, anything that is perishable, fruits and vegetables, bring them in, wash them with soap and water, wash your hands, wash them with soap and water, put the dirty things one place, carry them in, wash them, put the clean things down, and then when you're all done, wash the surface where they were dirty, and then wash your hands, and then put them away, because see, your refrigerator and your freezer are safe. Your everything in your house, assume it is safe. Anything from outside is not safe. And that includes any person. Animals are safe. So continue to take your dog for a walk, continue to feed your cat and that sort of a thing. I've transitioned over to a lot of deliveries. So because I may have been exposed in Colorado, I hope not. I actually never left my condo in Colorado. But since I may have been exposed in Colorado, we're actually having things delivered into us so that we can't unintentionally infect somebody else. Let me transition over to what our office is doing to help you through this time. We are transitioning to telehealth, and we're doing this as fast as we can, and it's going to be glitchy. We had a hard time getting this feed going this morning. We're learning this with you guys. We're going to be using an application called Zoom. So you might want to look at it on your computer, download it onto your phone or your tablet, just play around with it a little bit. Zoom is a fantastic way for us to do office visits with you in your house and me in my house. And the federal government has expanded Medicare so that we can do this, so that you and I can still talk and have a conversation. And I'm happy to have those conversations because you guys are going to have a lot of questions. I'm answering general information, but you're going to have a lot of questions about you personally. So if you have internet access, which I assume you do since you're watching this, what you would do is you can go to our webpage, swvabrain.com, and I'm actually doing an update. I'm keeping it updated that you know what we're doing about the coronavirus. When you log in through the portal, if you have an email and you have the ability to get in through our portal, we are actually opening up slots that you can make your own appointment to either have a phone conversation with Sarah, and that's an appointment, or you can have a video appointment with Sarah or with me. And the phone appointments, they're for quick things. They're for, I have a couple quick questions, or we need to talk about what your options are with Ocrevus, but we don't necessarily have to see each other face to face. Those are cheaper, but they're also shorter. We have to stop them at 15 to 20 minutes because if they go longer than that, you're in somebody else's slot. For the video, these are, again, all of these are appointments. For the video, we have a little bit more luxury of time. We can take about 25 to 30 minutes. And that's if, Dr. Kramer, I really need you to take a look at, I think my face is drooping, or I've got something going on, or I need to explain something and I need to have that face-to-face with you. We'll set that up. Again, we're going to use the application Zoom. These are appointments. So your insurance will be billed. You will be billed a copay. You will be billed a co-insurance. And we're not taking copays up front. We can't. So hopefully we have enough cash flow to keep this going. All right, hang on, Dr. Kramer, because I do Tysabri infusions or I have Botox. How are we going to handle that? We are going to assume that I have the virus and I'm going to assume that you have the virus, right? So we're going to play this game both ways. We are going to bring people in for Tysabri infusions, but we are only bringing in other patients on Tysabri on the same day. And we're not going to spend much time in the office. So we're going to come in. Sarah's going to put in your IV. She's going to get you going. She's going to leave you, wash thoroughly, and then go see another patient with Tysabri, wash thoroughly, and come back. All right? If you have a fever or a cough within 24 hours, we will not let you through the front door. We do not want you bringing the virus in. And if any of us have a fever or a cough, we are not coming to work. So we're all going to have to be in this together. And again, the Tysabri is going to be every 6th week. Sarah can come in on Fridays. What that does is if we're only there once a week, that gives the whole rest of the week for anything that, heaven forbid, got onto a surface will die. I will do, on my side, I will do Botox and trigger point injections for people who need that on Mondays so that we're not crossing sides. We're not using the same thing. So what's going on her side is sanitized and is going to be taken care of. And what's going on my side is sanitized and taken care of. And we're only there once a week. What if you come to the Roanoke area MS Center in Salem? Same deal. She will be there one Friday a month. And I'm sorry, guys, I will try to work with you, but we can't be very flexible because we have to make sure that we stay out of the way. The Multiple Sclerosis Alliance of Virginia is on their side in that building. We are on our side, and we do not want to cross-contaminate. We do not want people getting sick because they came in from someplace else. Please let the Multiple Sclerosis Alliance of Virginia know if you are having trouble connecting with Zoom or if you are having difficulty with your internet. They have resources and people to help you. We are all here and we're banding together to help you. I'm having conversations with Suzanne every couple of days about what we need to do to support you. And so this is a horrible time, you guys. This is really, really awful, scary stuff, but we're going to make it through together. We're going to make it through together. So let me just quickly summarize what we're doing at the office. When you call into the office, now the message is super easy because we're not all there, right? So you can't leave messages all over the office. And in fact, if you leave a message in the wrong place in the next several weeks, we're closed through the end of April. I expect this is going to last even longer, but I'm watching to see when the United States starts to contain this this virus, and we need to make sure that things are slowing down before we start bringing people in. All right. So we're closed with these parameters: Tysabri on Fridays, Botox and trigger points on Mondays, and we're going to do this through the end of April. We're just committed to it. At that point and before, we will reassess. Does it go longer or do we continue? So when you call into our office, you will have one option and one option only. If Diana does not answer the phone, and believe me, she's busy rescheduling people, so just please be kind. She is there all by herself. She's the only one going in there so that is Diana's clean space. So we, when you call, if Diana does not answer, push 2. She's taking all messages to line 2. Now, if she's available, it'll pop over to line 2. If not, just leave her a message. And anything that you can ask us through the portal, if you can log into the portal, if you can find it on our website, there's your answer, okay? So try to not gum up the message machine with multiple messages in a day. We can't do that. How do you get us a prescription refill request? Please call your pharmacist and have them send an electronic request. If they fax it or you call, it will take an extra 2 to 4 days for me to get to it. I can't do it that way because I'm not there. I can't sign a fax. If Diana touches the paper, I have to assume for 24 hours that it has the virus. After I sign it, she has to assume for 24 hours that it has the virus. So we can't move paper back and forth. It has to be done electronically. Your pharmacists know how to do this, all right? So call your pharmacy, don't go in. Call them and say, I want an electronic request for prescription. This prescription, read it off your bottle. I have, lisinopril 10 milligrams. I don't prescribe lisinopril. It's a good example. Once a day, 90-day supply, electronically send it to Dr. Jill Kramer in Christiansburg. All right, so that's how you're going to do it. All right, for those of you who do not currently have a doctor, and this has been a huge problem. This is a huge problem. We are trying to get y'all in as quickly as we can. Because I don't have to commute in the mornings anymore, because I can't commute in the mornings anymore, we're actually going to readjust the schedule so that new patients now can actually do this video interchange. It has to be done by video. I cannot do a phone call with you as a new patient. All right, so be aware of that. We're going to try to go through, and once we have our schedule set, we're going to go through and make you a slot. You will have to, what we'll do is we'll send you an invitation through your email. This all has to be done electronically. So we have to send you an email, and through that email, you're going to follow the link to get set up. My husband, who's just an amazing soul. First of all, he's put up with me for 15 years. No, 17. He'll probably say 18 because he knows the math better than I do. He's going to be my medical assistant. So we're going to give you a phone number. You're going to call him. He's going to make sure that the feed is working. And then I'm going to come in and talk with you. All right. So he's going to do all of that, figuring out how to get it done. And then once we've done it once, we'll be all set up. We'll be good to go for the next time. New patients, though, I need you to know immediately what your past medical history is, your allergies, your medications. I'm going to need to know what's your history with MS, because this has to be a very efficient conversation for me to be able to help you. I want to basically be able to refill your medications. So as soon as I've seen you, you're going to hang up and call your pharmacy and say, I need this, 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 and this sent electronically to Dr. Kramer. I am not going to have time to put that in myself and send it out. It's too inefficient that way. We've got to just keep rolling, okay? And again, keep in mind, if you do a phone call with Sarah or you do a video with me or with Sarah, it is an appointment. Your insurance will be charged and you may have a copay. So do keep that in mind. These are actual visits. We're just not going to be seeing each other in my office. What if your doctor is one of the Carillion doctors who recently left? Carillion's still responsible for you guys. I'm going to help you as fast as I can. I tried numerous times in numerous ways to contact Carillion to take over your care as soon as I found out that your doctors were leaving. I found out at the same time you did. The Carillion doctors, they're responsible for you. And if you are having trouble with the Carillion doctors, message me on Facebook. I'm collecting names, and I will again try to contact their CEO, chief medical officer, the head of the department. I'm here to help you guys, but unfortunately, until I've actually seen you as a patient, I'm not your doctor. I cannot prescribe anything. I can't do anything. I can't give you individual medical advice, nothing until I'm your doctor. We're working as fast as we can, but there are only two of us. All right, let's see. I want you guys to know you're not alone. I'm sitting here in my office, which I share with my kids. I should show you this setup I've got going on here. All right, so it looks all very professional, except I've got, my kids have completely destroyed the place with their toys, right? So I'm working out of my home office here at Shea Kramer, and I'm working as fast as I can to get schedules put up so you can schedule yourself. I'm trying to get Diana on board so she understands how this process works. Sarah and I are getting set up with Zoom. We want you home. We want you safe. We do not want you in the ER. We do not want you anywhere near anybody else who has the virus. And if heaven forbid, I picked up the virus in Colorado last week, I don't want you getting it from me. So I am 14 days in my house. Please pray. Please pray I don't go insane. And I'm praying for you guys that you are safe and that you are protected, because I love you. I don't know. I can't come up with a group of people that I love more than my folks with multiple sclerosis. The relationship that we build, the trust you put in me, what you give back to your physicians is awe-inspiring. And you are all warriors and soldiers, and I love you, and I want to help you. So I think I'm going to wrap up. I don't see any other notes from Suzanne. I'll give it just a minute just to see if she has any other questions from everybody. I know that there will be a lot of questions. Watch this video again. Watch our website for updates. Get us an email. You can leave us a message and say, hey, I don't have an email with you all. Let me put that on file so that we can email you things. You can go onto our website and you can even, as a new patient, you can print off the forms that we're going to need. We're going to need those at some point. So go ahead and print them off, fill them out, because if you're ready with that when we go in for our appointment, I got to cut you off when the time's up. I can't cut into somebody else's video time because they start when the video needs to start. So we don't have time to look around for medications or remember what your past medical history is. Just be prepared in advance, okay? You're amazing people. Let's all survive this. The way we're going to survive this together is we're all going to protect ourselves. I'm protecting you from me right now, and then I'm going to protect you from each other after that. And we're going to do the best that we can. And when we learn more, we will do different things. All right, I see a question coming up, so give me just a second to let Suzanne get this question over to me. She says, cover one big real quick. IVIG. Oh, that's a good question. We're not sure yet what to do with IVIG. IVIG wipes out your antibodies. So I think that if you have a medical condition that requires IVIG, you better continue it, because your medical condition, those medical conditions that are covered by IVIG, are usually pretty sensitive to it. If you're on IVIG for your multiple sclerosis, it's a little bit less clear statistically whether that helps. So what I mean by that is you individually may have multiple sclerosis where you have to have IVIG, or because of your history, you're going to have exacerbations. We don't want you to survive COVID virus only to end up in a wheelchair and need 24-hour care, right? So my opinion right now is continue your IVIG as scheduled. Maya Angelou is one of my favorite authors, and what she says is, do the best you can until you know better, and then do better. And that's what we're going to do. We're all going to do this. I love you guys. I'm going to stop the feed. I've been told to hit play when it's done. I have to figure out what that even means, because I don't see that on my phone. And then that way you can watch it, because it will have been recorded for later. Take care, guys. Stay safe. This virus is awful. We've never seen this in humanity before. Ciao for now.